So what is going on? You and you back there, all of YouTube, it's the piano guy, and I'm really excited about bringing this particular video to YouTube today. And what it is, I'm actually bringing to you, I hate to call them, like new versus fake comparison. I mean, real versus fake comparisons. I really don't want to do that, but I want to show you some very specific things that's consistent with a real Air Jordan 11 and also an Air Jordan 6, and then I'm going to compare that to a fake pair and show you how it's very consistent on the real pairs. Every time it's the same way, and then on the fake pairs you're going to see they just can't quite manufacture it to come out exactly like the real pairs. So let's use, as far as the 11s are concerned, I'm going to use the Midnight Navy 11s, the fake pair, the monkey pair, and I'm going to use the Win-Like 82, the Midnight Navy 11, the retail, the genuine authentic pair. Then I'm going to pull in the Space Jam from 2016, and I'm also going to pull in the I hate to call it the Jim Red 11, but it's the Win-Like 96 11, and show you how consistent it is on all three pair. Okay, so here is the fake pair. On your fake pairs, when you look at your peaks, when you check your peaks, the peaks are going to be overly pronounced on the fake pairs. I mean, they're going to be pointy, just bigger. They're just going to be way over pronounced. So look at your sneaker, and it's going to have the peaks there, but they're just not going to be over exaggerated. You know, if you look at the peaks on, and look at them on both shoes, right? Look at the peaks on both shoes. The peaks are just way too pointy. I don't know if you can see that. Way too pointy, but check it out. The peaks are way too pointy, overly pronounced. Look at that right there. Especially, look at this one. Way just too overly pronounced. Can you see that? You see it, it's there, and you know the peak is there, but it's pointy and it's just way overly pronounced. Just like we want you to know there's a peak on your shoe so you could think that they're real. No, it's just way too overly pronounced. They're big, a little bit bigger, and they're pointy, and they're just exaggerated, all right, on the fake pairs. But on the real pairs, if you look at the peaks on the you see them, they're there. But it's like it's subtle. We just want you to see your peaks. We just want you to know that you have a Jordan 11. So there's your peak. There's your gentle, tender application or touch of your peak. It's not overly pronounced. It's not taking over the side of the shoe. I mean, look at it. It's there, but it's so subtle. You see it? It's just there. It's just a subtle, addition to the classic silhouette of the Jordan 11. It's on like that on the Midnight Navy, and look at even on the Win-Like. Where's my peak? There it is. You see, it's there, but you got to get right up. It's just subtle. You see it? It's just subtle. Even on this side, look at that. You see it? It's there, but it's just subtle. It's just that subtle peak that's a part of the shoe. Let's do the other shoe, right? There's your peak. I'm going to zoom right in on it. You see it right there? It's just so, see it? So, oh my God, my finger going the wrong way. Right there. Just so subtle. Here's the other side of the shoe. There's your peak right there. And it's just subtle. It's like that, like I said, it's like that on the Win-Like 82, the Win-Like 96, and here's the 2016 Space Jam. There's your peak. Right there. You see your peak? Yeah, and it's just subtle. It's not over-exaggerated. It's not cut real high. It's not real pointy. It's just a gentle touch. Let's grab the other one. There it is, right there. It's there, but it's not real big and pointy. It's not over exaggerated. Show you fake ones again. It's like they just overdid it, trying to let you know, hey, this is a Jordan 11. Look at that peak. Look how pointy it is. And it's bigger, and it's just over exaggerated. Way over exaggerated. Now here's something else that I found interesting about the difference between the real pair and the monkey, the fake pair. On the Midnight Navy 11, the Winlike 82, on your patent leather, this is the left shoe, no, the right shoe, grab the left shoe. On your patent leather, in the quarter section of the sneaker, from your midsole up to your peak, this is on the actual retail authentic pair of the Winlike 82, Jordan 11. On your midsole to your peak, if you measure it, it's going to be 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches. Let me see if I can do it any justice. Did I say 1 1/4 inches? I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me. 1.5 inches. 1 1/4 inches. From the midsole to the peak is going to be 1 inch. And this, let it sit there and settle so you can just see it. It's going to be 1 1/4 inches. Take a measuring tape and do that. Measure it. From the midsole to your peak, it's 1.5 inches. Why I keep saying 1 1/4 inches? What is wrong with you, piano guy? It's going to be 1.5 inches from your midsole to your peak on the authentic pair of the Air Jordan Midnight Navy, the Winlike 82s. It's going to be the same on the Winlike 96s. From your midsole to your peak, it's going to be 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches from your midsole to your peak. Measure it and you'll see. On the fake pair, now this is what I found very, very interesting. It's like they, remember the 2016 Space Jams came out. The shoe is done with, you know, the pieces of the parts and all the fabric, the, you know, the materials are God knows where. Well, it's like they took the patent leather from the 2016 Space Jam and put it on the Winlike 82, the fake pair, trying to convince us that it was real, but it's not. It's like they took the same patent leather and made it blue, put it on this shoe. So on the Space Jam 11s from 2016, from the midsole to the peak, it's 1 3/8 inches. 1 3/8 inches. And the same patent leather is on the fake pair of Winlike 82s. It's 1 3/8 inches from the midsole up to the peak. So that means, you know what that means, right? The patent leather is cut lower on the Space Jam 11s from 2016, and the patent leather is cut lower on the fake pair of the Winlike 82s. It's cut lower. So if you look at it around the entire shoe, especially when you get to the back part of the quarter section before you get around to the heel, you're going to distinctly notice it right in this section of the shoe. It's cut lower. It's not cut as high. It's cut lower. You won't be able to tell. Well, I can tell. I don't know if you can see it, but I can tell it's cut lower. And if you measure it, like I say, from the midsole to the peak, you're going to get 1.5 inches on the authentic pair, and you're going to get 1 3/8 inches on the fake pair. Another thing you're going to see, you take the left shoe in particular. Take your left shoe. It's very, very distinguishable on the left shoe. On the authentic pair of sneakers, when it comes around and it does the little, put this other shoe down, and it does the little dip right in here, you're going to see it lines up and it's pretty much centered in the dip here and the dip on the midsole. It's going to be pretty centered, and it's very, very noticeable on the left shoe of all of them. Here's the Winlike left shoe of the Winlike 96, and that dip right on the patent leather right up in here is almost like dead on centered of the dip on the midsole right in here. Centered. Right? Here is the Space Jam 11s, the left shoe. Look at that. Almost dead on centered. The dip here and the dip on the midsole. Almost dead on center. 3 different Air Jordan 11, authentic Air Jordan 11s on the left shoe. It comes out almost centered, right? Check this out. On the fake pair of the Midnight Navy 11s, the Winlike 82s, look at that. Look how far back that dip is sitting compared to where the dip is on the midsole. It's not aligned. It's not centered. Unlike on the authentic pair of both the Winlike 82s, aligned. Oh God, I can't. This is horrible. Trying to show you both of them side by side in the camera. It just ain't working. But check it out. Grab your shoe and you'll see. It's going to be pretty much aligned and centered. The dip on the patent leather and the dip on the midsole. And on the fake pair is not aligned. Not at all. It's not lined up at all. It's off-centered. Even on the Winlike 96s, it's aligned and pretty centered. It's centered. Aligned and centered. On the fake pair, it's off. Here's another thing you're going to notice. On the real pair, that Midnight Navy blue is consistent around the entire shoe. On the patent leather and on the sock liner, the booty, whatever you want to call it, inside the boot, it's going to be the same consistent navy blue. On the fake pair, when you look at it, you can't really see it on camera because the color's just not popping out right. But look at it and you'll see it. If you got an authentic pair, that navy blue inside of here is going to be the exact navy blue on the patent leather of the shoe. On the fake pair, the navy blue on the patent leather is darker than the inside right in here. It's a lot lighter and you'll notice it. It's like it's ashy and it's like it's almost been faded in the sun. It has almost like a faded in the sun look. It doesn't have that true navy blue color on that piece of the fabric as it does on the patent leather of the shoe. So check that out. Check your carbon fiber. Make sure that all of your dots on there are the same shape, that they're not coming out like on this particular shoe. They're coming out looking like they're diamond shaped. This is on the fake pair. On your carbon fiber, the dots on there are looking like they're diamond shaped down at the bottom. They're not looking completely like that proper shape that they should. So, I mean, come on, that's pretty undeniable. Especially the measurement from the midsole to the peak, stuff like that. How centered it is from the dip on the patent leather and the dip in the midsole. Consistently on 3 different pair, the Winlike 82, the Winlike 96, and the Space Jam 11s, the dip centered. And then on the fake pair, all of a sudden you're telling me just this particular shoe, they just didn't quite get it right, but it's still real, it's off-centered, and it's not using the same cut measurement from the midsole up to the peak. It's using the same patent leather cut on the fake pair as it is on the 2016 Space Jams. Why? Because I believe they probably had all of this materials that they found, or whatever the case may be. They used the measurements on that Space Jam that's already been released to try to make these, and they made it off of the cut of the Space Jams and not the cut of the actual authentic pair of sneakers. They had to use whatever was available, and it actually came up short. That was a pun, and I did intend to make it a pun. It came up short at 1 3/8, not 1.5 inches. Also, one more quick thing on the real pair of the Winlike 86s. On the real pair, the stitching across your label right there is bigger. It's bigger. And on your fake pairs, let me get the real pair again. On this one, you'll see it as well. You can't see it in the camera, but look at the stitching on your tag. It's bigger, and on the fake pairs, the stitching on the tag is cut real tight and close together. And it's funny, it's cut real tight and close together like on the Space Jams. So they used the Space Jam to replicate what the Midnight Navy was going to look like, what the Winlock 82 was going to look like. So they use old stitching patterns, old patent leather patterns. They use old technology, so to speak, past, done with, gone, and they use it to replicate the shoe, and it came out looking like the Space Jam in terms of all the cutting, the spacing, and the actual application of the materials on the shoe. Alright? So I hope that helps you a little bit. So you should be able to look at those things, even if you don't have a real pair in hand, you should be able to look at those things, look at the shoe in hand, and automatically, just like that, be able to tell if it's authentic or if it's a replica or if it's fake, just by those few things that I've just pointed out to you. Alrighty? So I'm going to jump over to the Air Jordan 6 and show you what the authentic pairs consistently look like from year to year to year to year, going all the way back to the Olympic 6, up to the Carmines, and up to the newer releases of the Air Jordan 6, and show you how it differs from a fake pair, how they just can't get it right because they're not using those same calibrated, precise, measured machinery, cutting a shoe after shoe after shoe. So here we go. Check it out. Alright, so I'm back to do the Air Jordan 6, and once again we're going to give you some very, very consistent, specific things that no matter what the age is, I mean, there's just on the genuine, authentic Air Jordan 6s, they're consistent from 6 to 6, from year to year, from colorway to colorway. On the fake ones, you're going to see some things that are pretty just not consistent with what it should be. So let's get into it. Let me show you what those things are. Let's look at the left sneaker of the Gatorade 6. The left sneaker. I can't talk. Left sneaker. So I'm going to call this the thick, thick, thin, thin. On the fake pair, if you look right here, on that piece right there, on the bottom of the outsole that goes into the midsole, is going to be thick, and you're going to have cauliflower ears, thick, right up in here. See look how thick that is. Thick, thick, looks like a wrestler's cauliflower ears. I mean, it's just puffy. It's puffy and thick, and right there on that outsole piece right there that goes into the midsole is going to be thick as well. You will see that. It's just not right. Same thing on, look how thick that is right there. You can see it. It's thick right there, and then it's puffy. Look how puffy those ears are. They're puffy. You see them? Puffy ears. But on the real pair, a real pair of 6s, take like these all-star 6s, look. It's thin. It's not puffy right in here in that piece right there. It's not puffy and puffy, right? If you squeeze it, look how puffy that is. Especially, look at that on that side. I'm sorry, on this side. I can't point. No, on this side. Look at that. Look how puffy that is. See how puffy this is right here? It's puffy. But look. Thin. See that? Puffy. Let's take the infrared 23 6s. Thin, puffy, thin. Check them all. You'll see. Check your Air Jordan 6s. The alternate 91, alternate hairs or whatever you want to call it. Look how thin. That's thin. Right up here on the ears. Thin. And right here on that piece. Thin. You look at it, it's thin. Look at your Air Jordan 6 right there on that little piece that goes from the outsole up into the midsole. It's thin. The Olympic 6s, thin. And this sneaker is from what? 2012? From 2012. Thin. and look right in here on your ears. Thin. Right? Carmine 6. Thin. 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 Right here. Thin. On that piece that separates the outsole going into the midsole. Thin. So I call this the thin, thin, or thick, thick. Is it thin, thin, or is it thick, thick? And you'll see on both of these, that piece is thick, and the ears are puffy and thick. Your Air Jordan 6 should be thin, thin. The fakes are going to be thick, thick. These are fake. If you see a picture of them, and you see this piece puffy, I don't care whose picture it is. If they have a picture, and it's posted anywhere, on the Instagram, Facebook, whatever, YouTube, if this piece is thick, they're fake. If this piece is thick, they're fake. How many different ones did I show you? I showed you the Carmines. They were thin. The ears are thin. That piece is thin. Showed you the Olympic 6s. Thin, thin. Showed you the All-Star 6s. Thin, thin. From the Golden Moments Defining Pack. That piece right there that separates the outsole to the midsole. Thin. The ears are thin. Right in that part. Right in there. That's thin. The infrared 23 6s, thin. Thin. It's not puffy and thick, and that piece is thin. And the alternate 91 6s, the same thing, thin. So I pulled up multiple colorways of the Air Jordan 6s for multiple years, going all the way back to 2012, and they were all thin. What year was the Carmines? 2014 or 13, 14, thin. Alright? That's what I call that. Thin, thin, or is it thick, thick? Is it thin, thin, or thick, thick? I call this one, this is another telltale sign. How long does it take to get there? That's what I call this. How long, this is how you can remember it. How long does it take to get there? Okay, I'm going to do, I don't know, for some reason I got to think about the left shoes, right? Alright, on your toe box, from here, from right in here, down to there, how long does it take to get there? If it's less than 2 inches, it's fake. This is shorter, way shorter than 2 inches. In fact, where's my measuring tape? Me and my trusty measuring tape. When I put it right in there, in that little spot right there, it comes up like 1 3/4 inches. It's short of 2. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's 1 3/4 inches from there down to there. It's too short. If it's less than 2 inches, it's too short. I measured them, so you can take your own 6 and you'll see the same. You'll see it on that piece from right in here, right in that little crease, from right there to here. On these is less than 2 inches. It's less than 2 inches. So how is it? You tell me. How is it from 2012 Olympic 6s? From here to here is 2 inches. From that right there to there is 2 inches. 2014 the Carmines. From there to there is 2 inches. 2016 All-Star 6s. From there to there is 2 inches. The alternate 91, the hair 6s, alternate hair 6s. From there to there is 2 inches. Infrared 23 6s. From there to there is 2 inches. Right? How long does it take to get there? 2 inches. And on the Golden Moments Defining Pack, I measured it the same. From there, that little, right there, boom, right in there to here, it takes 2 inches. It's 2 inches. So, both of these, the Gatorade, this green pair, and this orange pair, Orange and white pair. These are fakes. I saw somebody's Instagram. They had a picture up there and they had a lot of likes on it. But I immediately looked at the shoe. I saw thick. And, you know, and then if you take a measure tape, you can even look at it. You know, once you look at it, you get pretty decent at it. It's less than 2 inches from here to here. Alright? It should be exactly 2 inches every time. So that's what I call that. This next one, what I call this is one of my I love this one because this is a telltale sign. But I call it the double stitch. Alright? It's a unique stitch right in a specific place on every Jordan 6. Every one that I've checked is the same. I mean, it's like right at this particular place. I call it, it's like an over stitch. So I call it a double stitch. So I'm going to take the real pair first. Yeah. This is the, check your Air Jordan 6 and right in, I'm doing the left shoe again. It really don't matter which one you use. You could use any of them. Maybe you could probably see it better on this white than on that black. But right on this part, in that little piece part right there, every time you're going to get that stitch that goes from this piece of the leather to the lower piece of the leather. Is going to go boom and go over top of it and go right down there. I call it a double stitch because to me it's like it's on this piece and that's one, and then it's on that piece which is lower two, like two different pieces, and I just call it a double stitch. But every time you see that stitch on a Jordan 6, or at least mine have nailed it, and I've checked multiple ones and I'm gonna show you, but right in that little spot right there, it catches it and it's pretty clean, and it goes from that piece and it goes down to the lower piece. It's the same on this one. Yep, they caught that piece right there, the upper piece, and then it just boom right down to the lower piece. You really, I mean, you're gonna need to check your own 6s to be able to. I can see it on there. Can you see it? Yep, there you see it. See how it catches the upper piece right here, right there, and then it goes down to the lower piece right there. I call it that double stitch, and on every one of my Jordan 6s, boom, it's right there, and you can see it. That stitch right there. Let's go back to the, yeah, look at this. Look at this. The 2012, look at that. Catches the upper part, and it double stitches. I call it a double stitch. That's just the name I gave it. And then it goes down to the lower section. And this is a 2012 pair. And this is a 2016 pair. How is it? It's the same stitch right there in that one little spot on both sneakers that are how many years apart? 2016, 2012? What? Come on now. 4 years? The Carmine. Look at it. It's right there. Yeah, there it is. I can see it. Can you see it? Boom. Right there. It catches the upper part and it goes down and stitches into the lower part on every last one of the authentic pair. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on these black ones because that's why I didn't show it on the black ones. I can see it, but you probably won't be able to see it. I can see it. There, so you see that? It catches the upper part, stitches over down to the lower part. Did I show it to you on the Golden Moments Pack 6? I don't remember if I showed you on this one or not. But there it is. Look at that stitch. It catches the upper part and it goes down to the lower part on every last one of them. Now, alright, check it out. Let's see if I can see it. Yep, look at that. It don't do it. It's all missed into, it don't catch that top part clean. You see that right there? You see that stitch? It don't catch that top part clean, and it just goes and merges all down into the lower part. It's not clean. And if you don't believe me, same thing on the right shoe. See if I can get it where you can see it. Where am I at? Yeah, right in there. It's not clean. It's all mashed in and all like it ripped into the fabric of the shoe. It's not clean. Here's the orange pair. I checked it out and I looked. This one is not there. It's just not there. That clean double stitch is not there. That clean double stitch is not there. And then also on these fake ones, if you check like on the outside, the lateral side of the sneaker, these holes a lot of times are just way down too low to the fabric right there. Especially look at this one. Look at how that hole back there is way down on the fabric of the shoe. You see that hole right there? Way down on the fabric of the shoe. Way down here. Look at that hole right way down there. On the real pairs, it's clean. You don't get that hole all down. So I checked every last pair on the lateral side of like the left shoe. You don't get no hole way down here, all down by the pattern of every last one of them. On a real 6, you don't get that. You check the fake ones, the holes all the way down here on the shoe. You don't get that. All right, you don't get that. Here's the 2012, once again, the Olympic 6. You don't get that nice and clean. You don't get that hole. All right. So you got your thin, your thick. You got your how long will you get? How long does it take to get there? It should be 2 inches. You got your double stitch. That's what I call it. And if you look, it's gonna be clean, man. You'll see it lap over on the upper part, go across the upper part, right down to the lower part. You're gonna see that on every Jordan 6, and it should be clean, man. It should be a clean stitch. And so those are the things I wanted to show you, to be able to tell the difference, man. I mean, and I'm telling you, it's about as obvious as you can get when you look at those things. It's not 2 inches from there to there, as it is on every last one of my authentic Jordan 6s. It's thick rather than thin. On every last one of my authentic Jordans, it's thin, not thick. And you got that classic stitch, what I call that double stitch. It goes over that top, down to the lower part, and it's consistent on every last one of my Jordan 6s. So, hey, thanks for watching. It's been the Piano Guy. Hey, make sure to follow me on Instagram at _Piano Guy, and on Twitter at Sneaker Struggles at JMO Hollywood. Also, if you can, yeah, you can. All it takes is just a boom. Press that subscribe button for your boy. It's free to do that, especially if you like the content and you're enjoying the content that the Piano Guys bring it to YouTube. Drop me some comments below. Also, pull out your sneakers. Pull out your 6s and pull out your 11s and compare them to see if everything on your shoe matches up with the things that I showed you on these particular sneakers. So press that thumbs up like button for the Piano Guy. Thumbs up, like button. Drop some comments below. Press that notification bell so you can be notified, and you'll get the notifications on when new videos come. And also, once again, press that subscribe button and follow the Piano Guy on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks for watching once again. Till next time.